Hello and welcome back to Getting Handsy. This is Bob Bosk. Today I'm going to show you how to make a fairly simple water tower or like a fuel tank. So first off, we're going to need some sticks. I've got long ones and short ones. Then you're going to want some sort of can to make the actual like water tower bucket thing, the thing that holds the liquid. I've got these two, but I'm probably going to use a small one. Now I'm not technically using this in the water tower at all. I'm going to use this as a guide to glue my popsicle sticks in the appropriate cylinder shape. So first off, if you do it this way, you're going to want something to stop that can from rolling. Luckily, I had a pencil close by. So now to actually start, we're going to put some popsicle sticks on here, and then we're going to glue them together in little sections. Initially, I went with 3 at a time, so I glued 3 sticks together and then let them sit on the can until they're dry. I'm going to make a number of these. Once you've got a couple of these little sections, then we're going to connect those sections together. Same thing here. Once we've got a couple, I'm going to glue these together. But they're a little bit big now, so I'm going to turn it vertically. Then once you've got enough pieces to make a complete cylinder, you glue those together. Pretty simple. So now we've got this outside cylinder done. It's the part that would hold the water at the top of the water tower. I don't know what it's called. We're going to make a platform for it to sit on. I just used a number of sticks that would give me a little edge around the cylinder. Then I got 2 sticks and measured them so they wouldn't go over the edge. Then glue them down to hold your platform together. So here's just a little bit of a closer look of our finished platform. So see, there's just a little bit of lip around the edge, I guess. Now we're going to work on the top or bottom, I guess, depending on however you want to use the cylinder. Basically, I'm just going to cut a bunch of popsicle sticks to close up that hole. Now you can do that to the top or the bottom or both. I'm going to use it for the top in my situation. I'm going to put the platform like this. And eventually you would connect it somehow. I'm just going to hold it here for a bit. Now we're going to make the bottom. Basically we're going to do what we did with the guard towers, which is make these like skeletal walls, I guess you'd call them. Just some pieces on the outside, then some cross beams to hold them together. We're going to need 2 of those. Then we're going to connect those 2 pieces. I did kind of a weird way of trying to measure how much I needed, but eventually it worked. Now when you're gluing these together, you probably want to set it up against something that made it easier. Now technically this is all you need, but I'm going to go a little bit farther than this just to make it a little bit prettier. But here's what it looks like now. And also just to show you the size of this, it's a fairly big water tower. Probably more like a modern day water tower, size-wise at least. You could certainly half a lot of the sticks and it would be just as good. Which is kind of what we're going to do now. Now I'm going to do a different way. Still going to use the full sticks for the height, but going to basically do half sticks for the width. It's the same process as before, just smaller sticks. So here's the smaller base. It might be a little bit too small for this specific tower, I guess, water tower, but I like it a little bit better. Now to make it a little bit fancier, we're going to add some more cross beams. And to go one step further, we're now going to add some diagonal ones. See, now that's much fancier. Now because that turned out so well, I'm going to do the same thing to the big one. Beautiful. Well, sort of. It does have some cool lines on it. And so here's the small one again. They both look pretty cool. Once you add the I guess basin back on top, that one's not too bad now. This one's still just a little bit too big for that smaller base. But so I have an alternative, and this goes against everything I normally do, but I've got a little, I think this is a can of mushrooms that would work for a top on that. And this is my paint can. It's just like a can of, I don't know, soup or beans or something. Both of them are almost the perfect size for these. So as a secondary option with the same basic structure, this, cylinder that we're using, we can make kind of like a fuel tank. So rather than a water tower, it would be horizontal rather than vertical. So we're just going to make a much smaller base. Now it's going to be very similar to what we did before, but I'm going to leave the top kind of open so that the cylinder just sits on it. So this is basically the frame. Oh hey, that's the word I was looking for before. Anyway. And with this frame we can just set the cylinder on top, kind of make this like holder for a fuel tank. It would be a pretty big one, but it can also then hold the can. They're about the same size. Now I'm going to add some more cross beams, but it's more of a structural thing rather than a cosmetic. I'm just going to go all the way around. So here's just a final look at the different variations I made. So here's the small one. If you use a smaller can for the top, it works better, I think. The large one is just a little bit too big. I guess if you cut it in half, that vertical wise, it would have been fine. But here's the horizontal one. So it would be more like a fuel tank rather than a water tower. But I guess it could be some sort of horizontal water tower. I don't know how that works. And then a big can would work as well. And then with the larger one, I think you do need a larger can. The soup can worked pretty well. I think it looks pretty nice. Otherwise, yeah, the wooden one, it's kind of like an old West water tower. The small one's just a little bit too small, I think, but, do what you want. So I did go ahead and throw some paint on these. I think they look pretty good. Depending on how you paint them, they're probably more like a old Westy type game, or maybe a post-apocalyptic, but I could see the fuel one being used in Sci-Fi. So there you have it. What'd you think? What do you think we should make next with popsicle sticks? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.